worry about Johnny getting his 6 dogs out. We don't have to worry about Susie locking her dogs in the basement and the dogs barking and people being afraid to walk down there. I had a scenario where people have homes in Wyoming to sell. Do that. So yes, doesn't matter where your house is that you have to sell, we can do. It cannot be a rural property. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure there's anything in Wyoming that's not rural. I mean, there's what, 40 people living in the entire state, something like that?
How about on the buying side, when they buy houses?
They can buy the state that I'm licensed in, that you're licensed, and ultimately, we have people in our company who are licensed in, I think, 47 states, so I do have resources. I'm licensed in 3 right now, but my Virginia's a pain in the butt, it's gotta click a few more buttons. But I do have, there's a guy named Matt that I just adore, and I don't follow the proper corporate rules on how to do a state that I'm not licensed, and I call Matt, because he's good, I trust him. So yes, if they wanna buy in Michigan, and I actually talked to Matt about a Michigan property the other day. Well, it's like Matt is the loan officer, I'm still involved from a compliance and legal standpoint, it's just because I'm busy. You can't represent the people in Michigan, because you're not licensed in Michigan, but you could refer them over there. Right?
Now, what if I represent them as a lister here, get your program to help them buy, say, move to Jersey, and they use that program, me as the listing agent, when am I finished with the transaction?
When you're finished with the transaction whenever the house sells, whether it be that it ultimately sells to us, because we're writing an offer on the property that says it's contingent on not selling it before 6 months, and then we're gonna buy it. So if they get a buyer fast, which hopefully they do, and I mean a good property, they're 3 weeks is pretty normal. 3 weeks I would say is pretty normal right now. And you get paid when we sell it. Ultimately. It's a good way. It's a good marketing tool for your listings too, though. Like, hey, like you just said, hey, come into my listing. I know somebody. When you walk in the door with your buyer, and you say, oh no, they've got a house to sell, let me hook you up with Robin. Because Robin is mentioned in every conversation. Robin. No mortgage. Right, so there's 14 days, 6 months to sell. So great marketing. We can co-brand anything. I think several people, I don't think we have you set up with our mobile app yet, and we're going to talk about that a little bit too. And Debbie's using it. Amy finally said, oh, I saw that she shared it all by herself. I'll get you set up now that you're licensed. You use the mobile app, right? I know Liz does. We can get it this way. So Jim, when me and AnnieMac over here, press your way to buy your new home, and then Jim Hunt, Lakeview Realty over here. Have all your contact information. So here's some of the costs. Here's where everybody's gonna yell at me. And nobody's gonna like what I'm gonna say, and we're prepared. We have a title company that is the only one that can do these right now. So we cannot use Hudson Jones, Bonnie Benson, Adam Purser right now. We have, in Delaware, I don't know about the rest of the state, but we have all stomped our feet a little bit and said, let's get some of our local attorneys approved. I do know quite a few people who have closed these. They've had no problems with the title company. They said they did a great job. And I'm sure they've got, you have to have an attorney do part of it here. The money sent to the attorney. So the deposit, their EMD, their cash fee goes to the title company within 48 hours of going into the contract. These numbers I think are a little bit skewed because it's Delaware. Ultimately, what we're looking to do is make sure that we've got the money for the transfer tax on top of anything else. Because if we have to do 2 transactions, your buyer's gonna pay here. If we have to buy it and then we have to sell it back to them, if we do it that way, and there winds up being double transfer taxes, AnnieMac's not gonna lose money. We're gonna have that money, so that would be an additional fee. So these really aren't for everybody in the world. Cause there's upfront money, you know, they have to have a little bit more skin in the game. So, like Tony, he's gonna have plenty when the house sells, he might not have the physical cash today to do this. That means we get a little bit more creative in finding the money, right? It is, Vaughn, do you know the name of the title company? It's somewhere in our thousands of emails that we've done. So
I want to say premium title,
premium title,
I think.
No mortgage contingency. AnnieMac, the mortgage company, we don't buy the houses. AnnieMac private equity and cash to keys buys the houses if we need to. But your sell's gonna have a guaranteed sale, and your buyer's gonna have a guaranteed purchase. There's our New Brunswick, New Jersey location is the one that started this. They really did that. They were the pilot area, and they went through everything. And two of their guys, they're crushing it. So we had them in one of our meetings 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was a hammer us with questions. I don't know where I was going with that, guys. I was very proud that I had all my words. Now I don't have my words, they're gone. What was one of the key points? I know we talked about something that the thing. Oh, what happens if the buyer has an issue, right? What happens if the buyer loses their job right before the first closing? Guess what? It doesn't matter. We're buying a house. They're getting a house. So we had. Hi, Tiana.
Hi, how are you? Sorry.
Good. We'll do a recap after break. But we got food here, drinks are back there.
Okay.
They had one guy that was fully approved. The house was ready to purchase, and something happened, and his credit score dropped to 585. Yeah, that's not happening with a conventional loan. So you know what happened? AnnieMac Equity purchased the house. They took the time to fix his credit, and then he ultimately bought it from them. If somebody loses their job a week before their purchase, guess what? We have committed that we are gonna make sure that house is purchased, that your seller is made whole on the day they were promised, and that your buyer, who they were approved and there was some kind of life event that freaks people out, guess what? They're still getting their house. It's, I can't get over the program. Like, I am really blown away. I don't know that there's anybody else in the country that has a program. I'm sure there's something similar. It's a guaranteed deal. I don't know that there's any other way. It's a cash purchase, period. Doesn't matter who the ultimate buyer is, it's being paid for by cash. Whether the buyer ultimately is getting a mortgage and getting it, it's guaranteed because we're on the hook. Buyer's on the hook a little bit, but we are fully on the hook to purchase that house on time for both parties.
So how has that been working for the company? I'm sure you guys
Really,
get data. How's it
Really,
working?
really. I just texted Tiana Smalls,
Hi.
I was just saying that the company rolled it out 8 or 9 months ago. In New Brunswick, New Jersey, they were the pilot. Delaware rolled it out, I wanna say in June, and Robin said, nope, not talking about it until I see how it's really going.
Right.
One of the guys that's in our group is up in Connecticut. He currently has 20 people fully approved, cash to keys, or buy now, sell later. They're killing it. The company has not had any defaults that I'm aware of yet. There have been hiccups, obviously, you know, where we're going, now we gotta do this, but we made a commitment. Somebody loses their job, somebody quits. If they quit their job, we might have a little issue with them on the backside after that. There have been no significant issues that I'm aware of yet. And I can ask the question, I have no problem sharing the answer. We have a mastermind group, like in our Teams thing, we've got a cash to keys mastermind. And we can go in there and ask the questions. I sat back and I waited to see how it works. Because I didn't want to put my reputation out there for something that wasn't proven yet. And I certainly am not gonna risk you guys and your reputations or your buyers or sellers.
Question, Robin.
Yes.
With the, rent and the extra transfer taxes, second transfer taxes, is that added to their mortgage?
No, that would just be like a cash that they're paying.
And they pay that?
They pay that at the end, so if we wanted to have to buy the house and all that, that money would be collected when they sell it, because we're not gonna go in under contract upside down. So if we're saying we're gonna buy your house, we're gonna make sure there's enough equity that any additional things that have to be done, there's money to pay it. So yeah, that, nobody has to pay that. Well, the transfer taxes get collected up front and held in escrow. There's double transfer taxes on it if people have
Okay,
it.
that makes sense.
Yep, if we have to buy it and sell it to them, we're not doing that part. So that would be the only thing that would be
Are you
possible.
gonna eat half of the second one?
No, me personally, no, I need
You know
everybody to
what-
donate to my tequila.
You know what I'm saying?
Looking good so far?
We have iced tea and water back there, and if you want soda or anything, Alex will get it for us.
Yeah, that's a
That's a
good.
good idea.
And all you do is scream,
I got you. I'll hear you.
and then Gina says, Alex, Robin needs you.
No, the transfer, easiest, because the transfer tax is being 4%, each buyer and seller pays 2. Does the mortgage company pay that?
When they're the seller.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
bought it and you're selling it back to the buyer, so the buyer's gotta be prepared to pay 4%
Absolutely, yep.
or 6%.
Right, 6%.
Or they gotta pay 2 the first time.
Two,
On
well,
the other
two on
house.
the purchase of their new house, and then if they're selling a house in Delaware, they would be paying them. Yep, that's probably the biggest gotcha or hook that's in here.
Mhm.
But there's
Not
a
too
lot,
bad if you put down, as a realtor, we can put down as a cash buy, and they're gonna more than likely get it accepted.
absolutely.
Maybe that's what everybody's doing, because this is the most cash purchases I've seen in a
So
long time.
I'm also Harrington Realty, and I've been there forever. And when we go to our managers meetings, there's a list of every transaction that's happened this year and who did the loan. I'm gonna say probably 50% say cash.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But it's not you, it's not this.
No,
Or is it?
no, it's not this. And I'm not sure how we'll log those.
Yeah, how did I get logged? Does it say cash or?
I guess it depends on how it closes. So if it closes with the buyer having sold their home and, you know, we go down the path of normal transaction, it would probably show AnnieMac was the lender. If AnnieMac Equity Partnership buys it, we're paying cash, so it shows a cash transaction from that side of it. As far as Bright and everything else. See, I knew somebody would ask questions that I hadn't thought of. You cannot write a cash to keys contract until I have got them fully approved from our side. I can't do that, they'll kill me. Cause writing that offer puts us on the line, so we wanna get them fully approved first. And I do, I mean, Justin knows, Amy, Debbie, we send people, if Tony would ever give me the rest of his documents, Tony would be approved. Tiana and I, we've done one transaction together and it was
I
wonderful.
loved it.
It was a
very
buyer that I had fully approved. She didn't even tell me she had a new realtor. And then I get, oh, and I'm under contract. I'm like, huh? But you know what? The buyer had provided her with her approval letter. Her
good. Commitment letter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Her congratulations, you have a platinum approval. So she knew that we were good.
I like working with you guys. That commitment letter really set off that
Yeah.
offer.
Well, and even if we're not looking at this program, we've got 8 or 9 right now buyers that have full conditional loan approval. Everything's been reviewed by underwriting. Now we're just gonna find a house. If there's 10 offers going in on Debbie's listing, and 5 are from Rocket or internetlendersync.com or anything like that, 5 are there. 4 are pre-approvals from good local reputable lenders, and 1 is, here, for my buyer, here's your commitment letter. You didn't get to see the awesome letter I sent to listing agents because you were already way ahead of it, but we have a letter that we sent to the listing agent. It says, I'm writing on behalf of Amy Monkey. Amy has been approved. She's ready to go. It's as close to cash as you can get. Unless it's this. So we're gonna do that anyway, yes, Tom?
I want to get back to the transfer tax question
Okay.
because, and I didn't realize this, I was reading through these facts. AnnieMac cash, if you do 2 transactions, where you have to buy one house and then sell the other one, AnnieMac Cash to Keys will pay any buyer's share of transfer tax on the first transaction. So they really only need 4% instead of 6%.
We pay the,
The buyer's share.
all right, that's even better. Why keep her around among
Yeah,
other
that's what he
things?
was asking. Where did you find that at? What page you saw that on?
That's on the buy now, sell later facts, and it is, if my state charges a real estate transfer tax, it's the first page,
Okay.
the last one on the first page.
Oh, right there, I see it, on the
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Yeah, we all know Delaware's got the highest transfer tax in the country.
Yeah, really.
Yes.
With the mortgage, so would we submit a mortgage to approve as an offer? We don't have appraisals involved?
We are still gonna get an appraisal, and that's the pushback that people have gotten. If it's a cash deal, why are you getting an appraisal? Because I don't think that we would, I haven't heard of anybody saying that an appraisal came in low and there was an issue to the point where we had to rescind our promise. If we're committing to buy a house at 400,000, the appraisal comes at 200,000, I think that we're gonna have some, serious talking, and people are going, Robin, when do you wanna get paid? You're gonna get paid like 2029, cause that's your next paycheck if we get this done. Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing is
That's one
transfer.
thing we have to be cautious of. Make sure we
Yeah.
did our
Yeah,
comps and.
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely, and I mean, I have not seen any low appraisals in a while. We've been pretty solid on appraisals, I think people are listing their house at the right price. Buyers have stopped doing the stupid, I'm gonna write a contract 100,000 over with an appraisal waiver and no home inspections, because guess what? 6 months down the road, they are in trouble,
Yep.
and they're not gonna have.
I hated that time in the pandemic.
Oh,
Everybody was
we-
getting inspection.
People
I
are
never
crazy.
did it.
I didn't want to pick up buyers at that
Yeah.
point. I was like, oh my God.
Well,
Yeah,
and
you
people were,
skipped an appraisal
people were doing that because they didn't think they get their offer.
Mhm.
My offer's not gonna get accepted if I get a home inspection.
You have to sign a liability
I'm gonna
waiver
talk
for
to you
me
about all
to
that
even skip an
home
inspection.
inspection.
I have to have that in writing that you said that, because what's gonna happen is,
That
6
comes
months
back to
down
you
the line,
somewhere.
when your roof falls down, you're gonna say, oh, my realtor told me not to get it, a home
Oh,
inspection.
no, I did not.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sign something.
Yep.
Never discovered stuff.
That's just all basic stuff right there. Again, we are gonna use our title company, Premier Title. We're pushing hard to get at least one local company. There's several, and it's all my W's, Wolfie Associates, Gordon Taylor, they're all over the state. I don't know if we'll get them. Hudson Jones has a couple of offices. It's just, this is where they've started. It hasn't been around long enough for them to be bullied by the Delaware gang to do what we want. They will. They know that. So, buy downs. We have had, I know Debbie remembers buy downs. Anybody else remember temporary buy downs years ago? Donnie, you've been in this for a while. So what is a buy down and why should we use it? So this is it's a very, very old tool that went out of vogue when rates were at 3 or 4%. And I'll give you an example, but we now can do USDA conventional, FHA, or USDA on these. Ultimately, let's say the going rate today is 7.5%, and your buyers qualify for that, right? And I think the higher rates are making it easier for some buyers, because even though they don't like the payment, they can afford it, and a lot of their competition has been priced out of that house, that same house. So let's say the rate is 7%. First year would be 5, second year 6 if you do the 2-1 buy down.
I keep hearing about that 2-1 buy.
Yep, so there's some information there, and let's see if I can go to, so Magic Dawn, that's what I call her. It says only fill out gray because Robin breaks everything. Who wants to give me a listing?
Can you zoom in on that?
Listed right now.
Be 285.
285. Okay, we're gonna say. How much of the down payment you want something to give Liz? 5%? 5%? 6.375 is not realistic, we're gonna change that, we're just gonna say, let's say the interest rate is 7%, okay? The cost to. 288 for
Increase the
Make
size.
it larger.
If you go that 100% there, just make it 200%.
Not the same number she's using.
Flat. You see where the B is, column B and column C?
No, you just.
Above column B and C. Above column B
Oh,
and C.
there it is, okay.
Yeah, make that 200.
Alright, let me go and just make sure I've got this. So 285, so the loan amount would be 270,500, have you ever done? And we hop back over here, no, don't, go back. It's a good thing you guys know I'm good at the loan part.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, so the purchase price, 288,450. Dog,
I forgot to fix that. So
either way,
that doesn't figure into the 13,000. That's got nothing to do with that 13,000. The purchase price.
I was so proud to be able to show you all this.
Where'd that money go?
It goes to Robin goes to Tahiti, it does not go to Robin goes to Tahiti. So if we're doing,
What money?
Well,
no, right, so here's what
you're
happens.
making a savings because you're buying down the
Yes.
first couple of years.
Someone
Someone's
has to
paying
pay
for
for
that.
that. Seller or lender paid only. But VA, it cannot be lender paid. So let's go into Liz and say, you've got this house listed at 285. We need, my buyer wants to buy this house. He's gonna use a 3-2-1 buy down. I need you to give us $13,063 as a seller concession.
Say that again?
We're gonna tell the seller, we need 13,000, Dawn's fucking with me, so,
The seller.
we have to have the seller, let's just say we're doing what the seller's gonna pay for it.
The seller has to pay it for conventional, FHA, and USDA.
No, lender can pay for those, it's only VA that it can own, that VA won't let the lender pay it,
VA is only seller.
yes. So, in theory, the lender can pay it. And I'm gonna tell you, have you guys seen anybody lock into a rate with no points lately?
No.
No. How do lenders pay your buyer's fees? We increase the rate and give them that credit back. I'm gonna tell you, it's very nice. I would gladly give and pay that and price it into the rate and loan. It can't be done. I mean, I'd be giving a credit and charging 73 points, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, hey Liz, we need your seller to pay $13,000 towards the buyer's closing costs.
And what's that bring the interest rate down to?
So in this scenario here, we're doing a 3-2-1. If today's rate is 7%, the first year rate would be 4%. Buyer saves $535.91 a month the first year. The $13,000 number is just the total of all these amounts times 12. So, Robin, where's that money?
So you want us to try to get a concession?
Absolutely, but Liz's seller says, no way am I coming
You
down.
don't wanna do it, still.
Liz, is that house worth $298 maybe? I know which house you're talking about. We're gonna pretend that house would appraise for $298. I'll give you 13,000 more, you give me the 13 back, just like we do every day anyway. We were doing it all the time.
When you got sellers like that understand the game is good, it's the ones that be like, my house is worth 300, I'm going down by giving it for 285.
How long has your house been on the market?
Right.
3 months? It obviously is not worth $280.
Right.
Liz, unfortunately, I think people that are like, oh, I just woke up, don't bring anybody over tonight. So we now collected $13,000 from somebody. Where's that money? We're gonna put that in a separate account. And the payment ultimately is $1,946. For the first year, the buyer is sending in $1,410. we are sending in the extra $535 to the servicer to make the full mortgage payment. So basically, basically, this buddy is subsidizing their mortgage payment. So the next question becomes, what if rates don't get better? What happens? Well, the worst case scenario, because we're gonna qualify them on the highest rate, in 3 years they go to that payment. What I am gonna be counseling people, and I hope they listen, and we know they won't. Take your $535 every month the first year, put it in a separate account. Take your $365 every month in savings the second year, put it in a separate account. At the end of the 3 years, you've got $13,000. You can subsidize that on your own. The other question, so
I got $13,000, I need a new used car.
we can refinance. We absolutely can refinance.
What happens if they do refinance? Do they get refunded the balance of that?
That was my next. I wish I brought Smarties. I'm throwing Smarties or Smarty pants answers. Yes, that is absolutely.
So that would help close them off on the.
It would be reduced off of their payoff. So let's say they use 535 times 12, what, $6,000. They use the first year's money, so they use 6, and when they refinance in a year, let's call it, they've got $7,000 left in that account. We net it out of their payoff. So their payoff is reduced by whatever amount of money we still have. It's a no-lose scenario in my mind. You know, if the seller can get their same net that they're looking for, it's gonna sell the house. There's an agent who is brand new, she's got her very first listing, and it's been sitting and can't quite figure it out why. Great response that it's getting. And the seller has moved, he said, find your tool. So it is in the listing now, and I don't know what we've got this week, because Wright gave us lip and AnnieMac gave us lip, but basically it's in there. Seller will pay for a 2-1 buy down from our preferred lender. If he gets an offer and they come in with a pre-approval from, I don't know, Keystone Funding, and it's a full approval and they're doing the buy down, the guy's not gonna say, oh no, not unless you use Robin. I would never encourage somebody to do that. But we're making sure we're putting the wording into the listings, and it is very specific wording, because if in a perfect world, nobody looks at a house without a realtor telling them this is a house they can look at. Zillow, Realtor.com, all that, we want our window shoppers, you know, our surfers, to go in and see seller paid buy down and have an idea, oh my gosh, what does that mean? Now it's a question to ask.
Yes.
You know, that's it. We need to get these conversations started to why somebody should come look at your listing. What's the benefit to the buyer? This is like every other house. Well, my seller's gonna give you this benefit.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's just say, cause some buyers, they just won't understand that 2-1 buy down. I'm not gonna lie, even as a realtor, it's just sometimes make my head up too. So I wanna say, like, if I had that 13,000, let's say I had 7%, how much would that buy my payment down? I just wanted a regular buy down.
That's it.
Not Harley, right? Nothing, right?
Nope. So let's say that is, where we have the one that's on 270.
That's 13,000.
You'll have to go back to
Go
the,
back to the 2-1 buy down.
And you guys are like, way too close.
Yeah, you pass the test, you know, that's it.
270, 13,000 is what percent? About 4%, 4%? 27.
Yeah.
What the magic number is.
So that's,
How do you
let's just say
figure out
that's
that number?
this number here.
Yeah, how do you get to 13,000?
You take monthly savings of $535.91 a year, a month.
No, I know mathematically that adds up, but how do you get that amount from the purchase price to figure out the payments for the?
Oh, because, no, our loan amount is gonna be based on what down payment they want. So, let's say 5%. If I change this here to 20%, please let it work. Please let that
if
work.
she's doing the 2-1, it will.
Oh, that's still on.
She said go to the 2-1.
Go to the 2-1.
So,
Yeah, last week I was doing all that on paper.
So, but what I'm asking is, if you have a listing and you're saying, I'm gonna advertise this, and if the list price is $285, how do we know what our seller is gonna have to put in to do a 3-2-1 buy down? Or
So we
2-1
won't until we
buy?
get a buyer. We won't,
Oh.
we'll have ideas.
There's no like mathematical formula
It'll
on.
depend. Somebody
Gotcha.
who's putting 20% down, the cost of the seller is $5,300.
Gotcha.
Go back over here and do 5% down. The cost to the seller, oops, that's not what I wanted. The cost to the seller is $6,300. But we can give them an idea of what it's gonna look like.
Okay.
And you know, we're gonna say to the seller, with full price, you two are gonna get in trouble together, I see it back there. They're talking about me.
We're not talking about you.
We're gonna be able to give the seller an idea of what it's gonna cost. And we're gonna say, here's, not that there's ever a true worst case scenario, but if your buyer only brings us 5% down payment on this is what we're looking at.
So what worst case scenario, it's a VA, they're 0, what does that turn out to?
That's a cute. That's a good one.
Well, I'm just
That's
thinking
a genius idea.
that's how
It's a
you
good
prep your
question.
seller, worst
That's
case
why I'm here to
scenario.
have all you guys that
No.
love me and trust, oh, wait,
You-
I'm Dawn, I did the wrong button, she tells me don't touch that button.
Don't touch it.
See,
Only
do
gray.
not touch, yeah. Like great her magical.
Yeah.
I love Excel spreadsheets.
66, so one from what, 53 to 66? Not a crazy difference.
No.
And this is with any seller whose house has been on the market for 30 days and they're frustrated because they want to move on. $6,000 is insignificant, hopefully, in the greater scheme to get their house sold.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive stuff they got there.
So 2-1 buy down is better than just buying down points.
Absolutely. 4 points. So, I've got somebody who has a 636 credit score, and we're going FHA. When I locked them, to get it to where it's palatable for the payment for him, it's approvable, it was almost 5 points. What we just, yeah, she knows what I'm talking about. We put those points on the seller side because if not, I'm violating all the mortgage usury laws. I can't charge a buyer 5 points, it's against the law.
Right.
Charge the seller the points. So we made it work because the seller was paying closing costs. It really is a win-win for everybody. It gets a house sold and it gets the buyer a more comfortable payment to pay. One of the first questions, and most of you in the room have heard me say it or will hear me say it to people, it doesn't matter what I can get you approved for, Diana, how much are you comfortable with your payment being?
Right. Yeah.
Right? If you tell me $1,500, but you want that $285,000 house, I'm gonna say, I have a plan. Do you think, I know I can get you approved for $1,800 or $1,900, but you want $15,000. What if I can get you that first year at $1,500? I've talked to several buyers about this. Some of them did, and some clicked immediately. So I'm showing them, I'm giving them, I'm showing them the numbers in writing. I know I understand it better if I can see it.
Yeah.
Alright, so, Dawn Rosemary. Dawn's presentation, that's not the one I want.
It's your, yeah.
Alright, so, I told you that we have lots and lots and lots of tools. So, when was the last time, other than Debbie, anyone did a broker Zoom? When was the last time anybody went to a broker Zoom?
After this.
I was supposed to go to that
Is
one
there one
today.
today?
Smyrna?
Why didn't nobody call me to
You
talk
saw
to
the one
her?
in Smyrna?
So,
It was a Smyrna?
What happened? We were talking.
anyway, no, I'm not telling you.
When the last time we went to a broker's over, I was supposed to go to
Yeah.
one today in Smyrna.
So, a few weeks ago, Debbie called me on a Monday at like 3 o'clock. She's like, what are you doing tomorrow? Like, we got she said, got a couple hours for me? Of course. What do you need? She's got ready to list the property, had not hit the button yet. The seller, who's her friend, called her and said, hey, my neighbors said, there's people doing a broker's open in here tomorrow, it's in Champions Club. She said, Robin, you wanna go in on this? Absolutely, and I made the absolute most horrendous flyer in the history of the world. Dawn then jumped in and made it just a bad flyer. It was terrible, we had wrong information, the kitchen was upside down, didn't matter. Debbie pushed the button, we got it done. I posted it all over the world. And I was at a meeting in K-Car, and Sandy Younger, Denise Sawyer said, Robin, we're gonna come to your broker's open. We saw that you're stop 4. Where the hell is stop 1, 2, and 3? No one marketed it well. So, you got a listing. If you had to do nothing except open the door and have realtors come through your house for a broker's open, would you do it?
Yeah, of course.
Rob, I don't know if anybody knows Rob Graves. I'm gonna give this is home inspector extraordinaires. He knows what I call that. Rob Graves with Mayor Spec. After my conversation with Debbie, he called me one day and said, what are these brokers open? Do we need realtors? Can we just go do them ourselves? Well, no. So, we are teaming up. You wanna talk? I've been talking a lot.
Sure. So, like she said, if you guys have a listing, you know, it's not selling, or if you just have a listing that you want to have a broker's open for because you want to put that edge on the market, that you don't have to do anything. You let Robin and I know, we're going to arrange everything, we're going to get the food, we're going to get the gift card. All you have to do is be there and unlock the door.
You guys have seen that Dawn is my marketing king. He's got Corey. We're gonna set them a mission.
Will the flyer pictures be upright?
No, kitchens will always be upside down.
Okay. Well, that's unique. That's a good thing. It's unique for us. I like it.
And if you ever get off, Jim, give him as much love as you can, guys. Yeah, you didn't hear it before. Jim was one of my clients for many years, and as of today,
Yeah, I
he
still
is
wonder about
licensed.
25 years of Deb. I'm not sure who's longer.
I was at Wells Fargo when we met, and I didn't go there until 2007. So she's got, yeah.
We were 97.
Yeah.
We definitely weren't in the 90s.
I was a paralegal, maybe when I was working the lawyer, because I was a paralegal before this.
I just know we weren't in the 90s.
I don't know.
Probably 2000 though.
I waited until the bottom fell out of the market to go from well-paid paralegal to scrape it like how? So,
Anyway, I'm sorry.
you know,
Broker's open. You guys are gonna set it up.
Yes.
open the door.
Another tool in your belt for closing these, because I mean, Robin and I work very close together. We're in groups together, and our goal is to get your buyers, her clients, my clients, ultimately, into their new home.
We love you guys, but we want to make money too. We're looking to get business out of your broker's opens.
Can you back up just a second for the new kid?
What's a broker's open?
Exactly.
Okay. So you know
A
what?
better description. I mean,
Yep,
I'm getting
you
the
know what
picture,
the open
but
house is. You
Sure,
open the house
open house.
to potential buyers.
right.
A broker's open, you are only inviting real estate agents.
Okay.
Okay, so if you have a home that you've been fighting seller,
Yeah.
say it's not worth 285, Liz's seller, it's not, we need to drop the price, and they're not listening.
Right.
Hopefully, we had 5 people come through because it wasn't marketed. We're gonna hammer the world. I did one back in April with Shauna Curlin, we had 22 people come through. The last one she did up in Chesapeake City, she had 1. We're gonna hope to get people in there for you, but if you can hand your seller 20 questionnaires filled out by real estate agents, is it priced right?
Right.
Where do you think it's gonna sell at? What's a high point of this house? What should I be showcasing? What needs to be done to help it sell better?
Yeah.
De-hoard it, paint it, carpet. My house would never sell. Look at this. You would say, hey Tiana, I love this house. Get your seller to fix this. You then have the power to hand it to the seller. The other thing that it does, and I used to go to brokers over and just drive around. You might have a buyer who's got your search criteria set up right here. And you go to Jim's Broker's Open, cause he's just saying, I'm not a realtor, come help me. And his house is like over here. It's not in your search criteria, but you walk in and go, this is their house. I know this is the house they want. You now have realtors who didn't know they had a buyer for your house.
Right.
If I see a house, whether I see it on Zillow or I go to Broker's Open, and I know, I've sent Amy a bunch for a guy, like, I saw this house, tell Tony to go look at it, and Tony doesn't, Tony just drags his feet. But the more eyes that are on it, the more you can say to your buyer even, this is where it benefits you to go to Broker's Open.
And it's relationship building too, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Realtors and grillers. Yeah.
What are you doing there as a mayor's spec? Are you finding out the defects in the house?
I will not.
I
will fight that
We did have a long
I'm just-
conversation.
Rob, that boiler don't work, girl.
Robin is
Stand
gonna
there,
use
you
me
don't
as a
speak.
resource.
You
I'm
don't
a
speak.
contractor.
Oh, okay.
That's my background, is I used to build houses, and I flipped houses.
If
So
you
I
want
know
his thoughts.
things that are going to help sell that house quickly. But here's one of the biggest benefits.
Look at that hole in the floor, don't let your buyer buy it, we're not doing that.
I will not be doing home inspections.
Okay, I was like, maybe he's giving like mini home
No,
inspection.
but what we're gonna do is we're
We
gonna
don't want to
say,
invite you to every house.
Right.
anybody who comes to this Broker's Open, if you bring the ultimate buyer of this house in, and we use Robin, you get a home inspection with Rob, Robin's gonna reimburse 50% of the appraisal fee installments.
You mean the inspection?
No.
No, the appraisal.
The appraisal for
Robin
you're
will
gonna
reimburse
reimburse
50% of the appraisal.
Oh, that's nice.
And I'm gonna do 30% of the home inspection, so if that's $1,000
So the-
inspection, that's $300 savings.
And if most appraisals are running about 600, that's another 300. So the buyer, Debbie, you bring a buyer into Amy's listing the day we're doing a Broker's Open. Your buyer buys it just because you showed up the day that we were spending money helping her, your buyer benefits. We spend money, hope then we get money, because we're gonna get paid, right? Like,
And somebody mentioned relationship.
yes,
That's-
yeah.
That is exactly what this business is relationship. Like by doing this, I'm not making any money. That 30% is all of my profit for that home inspection. But I have then shown and worked with 20 realtors
Yeah.
that I may not have already worked with. And they see the benefit and they see that we're willing to be a partner. And that's our website. I don't know if any of you guys have gone to AmeriSpec's website. We have something on there called our trusted business partner.
It says there is no waterproof, by the way. So waterproof, it says we don't have one, you wanna be one?
I'll send it to you.
That's okay.
I'll send it to you. We're starting this because every one of your clients, our clients, that are buying a house, they have some sort of construction need. And they look at the home inspector as the professional and they say, who do you recommend to do this? Legally, we cannot say anything. Well, Rob found a loophole. Worked with my lawyers. We've got a trusted provider website and we can say, we absolutely have somebody for you. Go to our website. They've already been vetted. They're licensed and insured. And if they're on our website, they are a trusted contractor. And they can select whatever category they need, a roof, HVAC, whatever. We make no money off of that website, but we do it to be a partner to not only our realtors, but all of our clients because it helps them. They might be moving from Missouri, what's an example?
Missouri and
They don't know anybody here. They don't have time to vet these contractors, but these Brokers Open, it's kind of the same thing. We're losing
We want-
money to do these, but we're building relationship and it's
Strangers are not gonna call us and say, hey, can you do this Broker's Open for me? But when we're there, helping people that we love and that we work with, realtors are gonna come in that we don't know. So that's where we're gonna benefit that day. I'm not just alone, but those new relationships that, we can tell them this is, why, Robin, I've heard your name. I don't know you from Adam. Why should I use you? My
You're the
smartphone
one on the
personality?
shopping carts.
Huh?
You're the one on the shopping carts.
You have to spend money to get money.
Yes, you do.
And we're in a small state where it's like, I mean, I know I moved here 4 years ago from New York City, And real estate.
Never known by that accent.
You know, straight Brooklyn accent. But it's like, I think this is a small state, and I just think that the more people you know, the better for these interactions, you know? Because sometimes everybody's pre-approved for the same amount in this state. I don't know how, but it's like, and then you know, everybody, we all competing for the same deal.
Even though it violates every moral, ethical, and probably legal thing, I know there are realtors who will not show a home if Johnny Jones is a listing agent because they hate Johnny Jones.
Right, that's true.
Or Johnny Jones did something really bad,
Right.
and they know of it, and they had a client burned by it, or something like that. Kent County is, I mean, you're all over the place, and in New Jersey, and in New
4
York.
states, yeah.
And on MTV, by the way, I stalked you.
Oh, that was my former life.
She's pretty cool. She's got some really cool stuff going on.
That was when I was in entertainment
but-
business.
Kent County especially, and when Debbie and I started, there were less than 200 realtors in Kent County. Right now, there are 574, not counting the newbies. 574 real estate agents.
That's in New York, it's like 80,000.
Oh, yeah,
so,
well,
you know.
this is Kent
You
County.
know what I'm saying? Like, 5 is not that bad.
Everybody knows everybody,
Yeah.
and if they don't, they've already got a good relationship. So,
They got their relationship, yeah.
exactly. You've got a preferred lender right now, and I'm sure they're doing a good job. How about looking at another option?
Oh,
You know?
I'm not gonna lie. When I met you, I'm a John Thomas freak. Like all my, like about 90% of my
hard
sales.
selling, tell you what.
But we went through such, this closing was so tragic that we went through. It was the worst seller. I thought I was on a TV show. I really thought somebody was trying to punk me. I thought I was like on punk or something. It was the worst seller in the world, and you offered, you know, to help them out, and I appreciate that. That's why I'm here today, because it is about relationship. Like, I don't care about a lender when things are good. I want to know, you're a good lender when things go bad. And when I tell you everything went bad, and she still was a good lender, then I was like, I'm gonna give her a chance.
Well, we got under contract. I called her and introduced myself, and then I think 2 or 3 days later I had commitment. And I said, Tana, I would love to get together and learn about doing business more with you. She said, I'm really impressed on see how it closes.
Well, you know.
We got the appraisal, and the appraisal's written. Tiana, we got the appraisal, and here's what it is. Can we get together to talk about business? I'm really impressed. Let's see how it closes. I'm like, okay. Okay. And you know what?
I gotta wait till it closes to see how I like it with this style.
I know what I can do. I know how I push. I know how my company reacts to things. I know what they're gonna do. It was rough. I mean, the buyer's mother was hysterical. The seller was a complete ass.
No, he just was terrible.
The buyer had a mother involved. isn't
Left the
it?
house in terrible
The
condition.
mother came at the
wasn't
very
moved
end
out.
at the closing, thank God.
There was major
It was
issues
just
in the house,
major
and our
problems.
buyer was a single mother who worked her butt off, and she was not buying an $80,000 house.
Right.
And she said, I am not proceeding. I'm not. And it's not, I'm not doing anything.
Well, the seller had he had
The other agent, we all jumped in.
a dog cage. When we went to go see the house, he had the dog cage. Now I'm like,
We would've found
okay,
that
somebody
dog
right about this, but whatever.
Tiana, he would have sniffed out the dog.
The day
She
we
was
moved, right, maybe I didn't kind of not respect, I do think, but the dog was in the cage, and he was like bigger than me. So that's the trick. He had the dog in the cage.
I think Robert would march harder.
So the day we about to do the last minute walkthrough, they're still there. So we like, all right. I'm like, okay, what's up? When y'all leaving or whatever? They're like, oh, we about to leave. Finally, I said, can you move that dog? Because now he had the cage was gone, but he had the mat still there. So we like, now my Brooklyn is kicking in now. Like, can you move that little thing you keep having over that? When he moved it, all the tiles had like, if you see P, the whole P came up, and then all the tiles came up. And like you can see like all the tiles was damaged. And he was like, oh, I put that in the disclosure. No, I'm thinking you talking about the scratches that was on the floor that we can't see, not that this whole 6 tiles was like. So if you ever see somebody with a dog cage,
They do.
just tell them to move it. I'm dead serious because they try you. They really, you know, and
No,
they
I'm
was
not.
expected,
I'm not.
but the dog was there that day, so they didn't go under the cage. And you think he'll be like that?
Along those lines, a few things. When you go into a home and you're seeing it for the first time, you know, whether it be a listing or you're taking your client in and showing them somebody else's listing, bath mats
And I'll buy you lunch.
in front of a toilet, in front of a tub, move them out of the way.
That is so good. The mat's gotta go.
People will put bath mats down to hide water damage or old leaks, things of that nature.
He was hiding
Dog
his pee-pee.
cages, they'll leave their dog there, leave the cage over a hole in the floor, or hide it, put a blanket so you
Yes.
can't see, a hole in the wall,
It
things
was,
of
and it was a
that
hole in the wall also, you're right.
nature. But what, you guys were talking about and what Robin was talking about, it is 100% about relationship. I have clients, and when I say clients, I mean realtors that do not use AmeriSpec at this time. There's competition out there, but we still invite them to events. We still make sure that we're staying in contact with them, because guess what?
One day.
They're going to need, and Robin will tell you, when a realtor needs something completed, when it has anything to do with any of the large gambit of home inspections, they do call me, because they know that I'm going to get it done. And there is competition out there, but
We kind of announced this program we're gonna do about 2 weeks ago. No one's called us. We are up here begging somebody, be our first one. Get a listing, call us. I don't care if it goes on today. I don't care if it's been on for a month. I don't care if it's the best house in Delaware. I don't care if it's the shittiest house in Delaware. Call us. Be our first ones. Help us get this rolling, because we want to do it for everybody. We'd love to do it every week. You two are not allowed to sit together anymore. I think, honestly, a happy hour one is the way to go.
Yeah, you gotta give somebody something in Delaware.
Kenny Pennington, and you probably came to this one 10 years ago, we did a mimosas and munchies happy hour from 11 to 1. I brought mimosas and little breakfast things and jello shooters. The sellers were thrilled because I left them the jello shooters. We probably had 35 or 40 people come.
Yeah, you gotta be creative.
Love your jealous.
do you remember how long after that burger's opened that house sold?
Not a clue. It was fairly quick. I mean, it was a really good house.
She had too many jello
But those were
Right.
in the
She has
days,
no idea what
every
mimosas.
Tuesday, there were several brokers opens.
Yeah, they're not really popular out here yet.
They're
the
not,
brokers, though.
they need
Well-
to come back.
Yeah.
COVID's
2019 they went away.
Tours and
Yep.
multiple stops
Yep.
and like you, like not a map.
Yep, and give, you take go to Diana's, you get your business card signed, then you go to Justin's, you get your business card
Yeah.
signed, you go to Amy's, and when you get to us,
And if you get to everybody, there's an extra drawing.
yep, and you can win a gift card, or, I don't know, we'll give you something. We'll give you mints, we'll give you wine, whatever you want. But it's something, COVID stopped it. On top of building our relationship and helping you guys, I think we just need to get our community back together, guys. It is, the affiliate appreciation the other night was the best event ever. K-Card did it for, affiliate appreciation. And affiliate, we didn't have to pay. Beer and wine was free. Food was amazing. We did a Roma Cell Tempo. It was the best turnout for an event I've seen in forever, and it was people supporting their partners. Like, I got snappy with one realtor a couple of months. It's somebody that I'm friends with. She's like, and I have to pay $25. I said, do you know how much? Me personally, not counting this, not counting going to lunch, none of that. How much do I spend on K-Card a year? $1,200 for membership. The golf tournament between sponsorship and the tickets, I spent almost $1,000. That does not count what I bought and put out at the hole, because there was jello shooters, and all the stuff there. The oyster dinner. Every event they're looking for sponsors. So affiliates, we're supporting financially our association. It was so nice to have, I felt the love.
Oh, absolutely.
And I gotta say, I really felt the love when they were announcing everybody to go, CMG, Main they said, Robin Miller,
was not
and
much
the
to
room
spend
is
for that.
loaded,
No.
because I talked to people in advance usually. We also had 11 people from AnnieMac there.
Oh.
Is everybody in here a member of KCAR?
You're not K-Card, you're Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Newcastle, all right. I was just gonna ask, is anybody else a member of another association? All right. So I deal with SCORE, I deal with Newcastle, and I deal with,
Yep. We'll go in.
KCAR.
I haven't paid anybody yet.
So
I can tell you right now, KCAR,
Okay,
Dues are due.
You for real?
Yeah, my license gave approval this morning.
he's been calling me with questions for 3 or 4 months now. Robin, I'm taking the class.
If you need any questions, just call me. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
KCAR is doing a great job
Good card.
of, since COVID, bringing the realtor community
Yes.
back together.
Oh, that's
And, don't get me wrong, Newcastle's, they're doing good, SCORE's doing good, but KCAR is going above and beyond and making sure, because
Social
if you've been in it for, 5, 6 years, you're gonna remember how close the community used to be. And it's not that way today. I see it from the outside, and it's not that way anymore. But K-Car is trying to get it back to a close-knit community.
Yes, every first Tuesday of every month, and Tiana, I'm gonna remind you, because I didn't have one until you come in anyway, first Tuesday of every month, we have just a happy hour. Has nothing to do with anything that is K-Car related, except we're saying come. We do it at a different, private, locally owned place. Me and my husband, Rob and his wife, Justin and his wife, they were like pushing us out the door last month because Piazza Mia closed at 9, at 9:30, we're still drinking, they're going, come on, could you leave?
And you would have thought we would have learned.
December 6th, everybody, Brown's Tavern, baby.
Mark it on your calendars. It's gonna be.
Brown's Tavern. So,
December
Tiana, that is-
6th. Is
Huh?
that what you
Yep,
said,
it
December
is-
6th?
You don't know what either did. Teeny meeny little hometown bar in Wyoming, right up next to the railroad tracks and the police station. It's got a little deli,
golf course.
it's got a taxi store, you can play pool, you can play shuffleboard, you can play darts. I expect us to have a really good turnout for that one. And it's just a way for people to get together and enjoy.
And that's just you guys, what's that event you're doing there?
That's just the Kent County Social Committee is just,
Social.
all we're doing is picking a place and telling people to come hang out with us. We're not spending it. Nobody's paying for anything. There's no,
What?
no. I guarantee you if you come, Robin are buying drinks for realtors. I guarantee it. My husband and I have been known at big things to bookend the bar because no other lender's getting near the bar to buy you a drink. We take over. My husband's here. I know you're
I didn't even get a Christmas card from my lenders last year, and I had to put it up on Facebook. I was like, I don't mean to gossip, but
Fun.
y'all gotta
Make sure
send
you're
out
right.
some Christmas cards. Like, I'm making too much money, and now you're gonna send out a little Vistaprint card. That's ridiculous.
We want to hear something funny? The cards that I bought last year, I didn't use all of them, and I bought ones that are blank inside.
Yeah.
So right now, every time I'm doing something where the computer spins for a minute, I'm writing my inside. I haven't even started addressing it yet, but I'm at least getting the inside.
Yeah, they gotta get it together. I didn't
I'm
even get a
never
cookie
doing
or nothing. Then they try to send it to me like that. Like, I already talked about everybody
Cookies
on
and
Facebook.
cards go to Tiana.
Yeah, I was like, y'all could have sent a cookie or something.
What does everybody else want?
Then they try to send it late, like in February. I was like, I want your Valentine's Day cookie now.
So, any questions for anything?
I have a question off of this, and I think that y'all partnership is very good. I'll definitely look at it in respect now. In respect. Okay, so I have a question. I don't know if y'all heard of this lady, so I want to make sure it's just not me. So lately, like, it's still wars out there. It may not be bidding wars, but it's still wars for houses. So I'm hearing a lot of people say, like, when somebody put down 5%, like, oh, that your client put down a low amount, 5% or whatever the case may be. Even if they EMD money's $20,000 or $8,000 or $10,000, whatever, they're a little upset about the low, down payment of 5%. And as a lender, like, why do people consider that low? Like, okay, that's average. Like, I see the deals.
As
That's
the
the average.
EMD or as
No.
only 5% down in the greater
Well,
scheme
most of
things?
my clients, they'll put down that whole 5%. It's like, not in Delaware, but like in New York, they'll put that whole 5% down as an EMD. So,
Right.
but people always be like, well, 5% is not a lot of money.
I still see, most of the stuff I see,
I said most
still
of
with
it's
$1,000
$5,000.
EMD.
Exactly.
$1,000
So,
EMD in Kent County.
I don't understand why people keep saying like, oh, 5% down is not that
Because
much. It's a low amount
watching
down.
HGTV.
Right. It's
And
like,
HGTV,
that's average
says you
about
can't do
5%.
that.
It's average.
or they're going on the internet and they're hitting, and everybody watches Goldberg, when Beverly Goldberg said once, I'm gonna look at the Google, so I just call it Google. They're gonna look at the Google, and they're gonna see 37 articles, and they're gonna open 6, and they're gonna read the first 3 sentences of 2, and
Yeah.
50% of that's wrong, and they're gonna forget the other half.
So you
And
rather
none
get
of it
somebody
pertains
that
to
put
Kent County,
down,
Delaware.
you rather get somebody that got, okay, they got 10%. To me, it sounds like somebody that needs 10% down to put down, they can't get the house, so they gotta put down 10%.
When my uncle sold his house in 1987 in Michigan, the buyer had to give 20% when they were
Well, that was in the
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
That's the point of it. People are getting involved.
You're good.
This is going on YouTube too, guys, just so you know. People, and I tell everybody, everyone you know is gonna give you advice, and they're gonna do it because they love you. And to be honest, if you're buying a house, your friend Debbie's gonna tell you something,
Right.
and your Aunt Liz is gonna tell you something, and your Uncle Jim's gonna make faces at you, and everybody's gonna give you advice because they care.
Right.
Please ask me, because I can't keep up with the changes in lending guidelines. There is
Yeah.
no way Uncle Jim can know what's going on today.
No, I already know that.
Yeah,
Same
but that's
as
like, I tell buyers because you get it, and the sellers are getting the same thing.
Right.
Because their friends or their family are telling them,
Oh, you could get this for your house, like,
Yes.
shut up.
I always tell my clients, I drive them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ask somebody else, 'cause sometimes they think that we're salespeople, so they're like, well, I don't believe what you're saying,
you know, every
Not
loan,
buy
we're
those contracts.
tailoring it to the buyer's ability and their wants. So, John, you might have $100,000 in the bank, but you only want to put 5% down, okay? I'm not gonna
Right,
make
so why
you
judge
more.
that? That's my only thing, because in the end, what I see in closes, and I work in 4 states, you can get a pre-approval that said he's gonna put down 10% or 15 or 20. But when it closes, I see that 5% and I see, you know what I mean? Like they change it anyway, like most people.
Debbie's getting to be my example person. We were working with somebody earlier, no, it wasn't you, it was Terry Mestro, earlier in the year, and it was a very, very hard loan. Other lenders had screwed up, it was a travel nurse for 15 months maybe, he didn't have 2 years. And I knew I could get him approved, I knew exactly what I was doing. And I was driving home from somewhere, and I was in the car, on the computer while my husband was driving, and when I sent the pre-approval, I forgot to change the financing. And I sent a letter saying conventional and we needed to go FHA. So I called the listing agent and I said, here, you know, first of all I called Terry like, why did you write it at conventional? She's like, that's what your letter said. Oops, my bad. I'm just as human as everybody else. People make mistakes. So I called the listing agent and he was not impressed at all.
Oh, they go off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we accepted it because it's conventional. You know, he went on and on and on, and I convinced him. I said, look, here's where we are. We went through with it. They were ready to cancel the whole thing because it's FHA versus conventional.
That was
was
a
nothing-
big thing 2 years ago.
There was nothing wrong with the house. There was nothing wrong with the house. If you have a house that's not going FHA, you know it.
It comes down to the agent, listing agents educating.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
He kept saying the seller was saying no. The seller didn't know what
It's
they
not
were
the
saying.
seller. The seller don't know the
The
difference.
agent was
It's not.
telling him.
Right.
You know, now if you guys can all convince everybody that a VA offer is just as good as the rest, we had a heck of a time getting VA offers accepted for a long
Especially
time.
during the pandemic, it was hard to get FHA and NBA.
And the reason for that is because everybody knew they were way overpriced on their listings,
Yeah.
and the VA, we're not playing that game.
Right. Yeah,
And
they
that's
play
what
with
came
it.
down to.
I wonder if that'll ever come into play with,
Right, because they've been conventional applications.
I like with that.
that will ever come into play when we're not allowed to disclose what their.
I can't wait till that comes in play. We
Yeah.
can't know what it is, just
Yeah.
if we figured it or not.
It wouldn't
Because
surprise
they
me
do
one
have a
bit.
prejudice against it.
It is a prejudice.
It is.
It is.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
kind of to tag on to that, I offer free to your offices. I'll come in for your lunch meetings and I'll do 20-minute educations. We also do.
Who has sales meetings anymore? Once a month,
Once
yeah.
a month.
Yep, I love it.
And also, we offer, check out our website, we offer continuing education courses, which everybody can use.
Yeah, I had one with the office. That was good.
But I love doing these, they're not really lunch and learns, but on this expectation, we have one setting the seller and the buyer's expectations. And it is an unbelievable course, great feedback from the realtors on it. So take advantage of the resources that we offer for free at Amerispec.
Where can we find the classes at?
Right on our website, Amerispec, amsde.net.
The guy that came to Keller Williams, I think he was an older guy.
Do you have to come to us, or do you just have listed classes that we can sign up to?
Currently, we use your offices to do that because we're a no brick and mortar. That's how we
No, she's
keep
saying
our.
can we do it online?
The
Oh,
continue.
okay.
I was just wondering if there was an opportunity, like, if you had a list of classes and we could just sign up to go? Or
Yes.
if it has to be something
For-
we coordinate with us?
For continuing education, yes. For the, tag on to your staff meetings you guys have once a month, no, I do that in your offices. But
Okay.
yes, we haven't had an in-person one in a long time, they've all been online. But we're getting back to, we're gonna start doing the in-person CEs, because I hate online, I wanna be standing up in front of you guys instructing you, so.
Well,
Utilize the resources that,
use us and abuse us.
yeah. And
That's what we're here for.
some of you, I've met, and they have my card. I want to make sure that all of you that do not have my contact information, have my contact information.
Thank you guys, thank you so